welcome to the latest episode of Hope in Action. I'm your host, Sheri Jones. We're kicking off Disability Pride Month, and we're focusing on three incredible local nonprofits: Peckham, Origami Rehabilitation, and NAMI of Lansing. And we're going to begin today with Tammy Hanna from Origami. And I'm joined now by Tammy Hanna. I like to call you the heart and soul of Origami.
Thank you for that.
What a journey it has been for you and the lives that you have touched and helped and changed. What does that feel like, having a vision and a passion and really turning it into a reality?
Oh, that's overwhelming. I mean, I'm just full of gratitude, and I immediately think about all the people I get to do that with, that help to make it possible, and have had a lot of exciting rewards along the journey and a lot of memories to reflect on. We've come a long way over Origami's almost 30 years.
Isn't that hard to
It
believe?
is. I have to keep
When I
reminding
was doing
myself.
my research, I said 30 years. Did you start when you were 10? Like, I couldn't believe it. I know. Wow. And I have had some friends who have gone through some injuries and who have come to Origami and come through beautifully. And really, you save lives. And you save the family. That's the hope in all of this.
It's so true. The family has always been the point of the team. We have to have the families involved in the journey, because they know that individual and they can help us, particularly for those individuals, the clients that we're serving, that may not be able to remember who they were prior to their injury, depending on how significant they were injured. But family makes it all the more special, and I think adds so much to the ultimate outcomes for that individual's life.
Truly, because it's you look at it as a unit, right?
Absolutely.
It's just not parts. It's all together and how you can make that work. So July is Disability Pride Month, and I like that because we're aware of people going through struggles, but how do they find pride and hope and confidence in their lives when they're either going through the struggle or have been on the other side of their recovery?
Oh, well, first off, there are so many celebrations every month all through the year, right? I love this one. Disability Pride Awareness is so near and dear to my heart. Individuals, I look at disability as a human experience. It is what makes humans diverse. Nobody's perfect, and we know that. No matter how hard some of us might try,
Right.
we're not perfect. And there's a lot sometimes that's even unseen, and often unseen.
Very often unseen.
And so we need to make sure we're recognizing and celebrating those disabilities in so many different people, in ourselves and in others, whatever it might be. So I love that. The other part of it is it really just directly connects with why Origami exists. We're all about creating opportunities and transforming lives, maximizing people's potential. So I see disability pride as being just being able to look at the potential, see the strengths, not focus on those challenges or the things that a person can't do. So it's really maximizing abilities. What can they do well? What do they want to be able to do? What are their goals? And how can we best help them do that? And that is where the pride comes in, of just, that's how the world goes around, right? With the diversity, how we're all very different. But recognizing that it's not a terrible thing. It's a hard thing, depending on the significance of the disability, or, which may be something someone's born with, maybe an injury, an illness, all the way to disabilities that come with aging population, right? So it's the full spectrum of life. It can impact any one of us at any time. And we have to find ways to celebrate those baby steps of progress along the therapy journey.
Then that was my next question I wanted to tell you, because it's celebrating those small steps, those quiet moments to give hope, to give someone like, I can do this. And I think the memory loss part is probably one of the biggest struggles. But your therapist and the people that you have working for you, to be able to take a look at that whole person and help them grab onto things.
Absolutely. It's all about the whole person and really looking, because a therapist can do their evaluation, their interview questions, and get to know the person. But it really doesn't matter what that therapist thinks they should work on. It's all about what that client and their family really wants to be able to work on. And I think the important piece is, I think there's an assumption that it's always the severe disabilities, right? And it's not always. Sometimes it is an athlete who comes to us, just their whole identity is wrapped up into this sport and they can't play it because of an injury, a post-surgical, need for therapy before they can go back out on the court or the field. Or it could be the complete opposite of somebody is born with cerebral palsy and their family is lost and has no idea how they're going to navigate their path forward. And those are the combination of the wide array of the different individuals that we have the opportunity of serving at Origami that really keeps our eyes wide open to remembering everybody's an individual. Everyone has their own story. You can't judge a book by the cover. You can't just go by the evaluation indicators, because it comes down to resilience and awareness and engagement. So we love that. And we love partnering with clients and families on that journey.
Successful in that, because people, disability, no disability, they want to be seen. They want to have value. They want to feel like they belong. And having this month just to maybe have people look at it differently, or when they see someone with a challenge, like how to approach that. And would you say that the most important thing is kindness?
Hands down, kindness and understanding. I always say, you don't know that person's story. I think it's human nature to judge quickly. Why is that person driving so slowly? Why is that person walking so slowly when everybody else is trying to hustle by them? Don't they know? Everyone has a story, and if we can just stop and realize that, and that story may be they're just having an off day. It doesn't necessarily mean more than that, but if we can just show kindness, I think it would just be a kinder world in many ways, right? But that accessibility component is a critical piece for individuals with disability. In particular, just recognizing how accessibility throughout our buildings, the community, wherever individuals go, we need to be thinking broadly of different individuals, whether they're able-bodied, in a wheelchair, whatever it might be. We need to think, what can accommodate that? Sensory overload. You wouldn't know if somebody has sensory overload until they're overloaded. So how do we establish our surroundings in a way that's thoughtful and kind to the individuals, depending on what their needs are?
Right. And because we've come such a long way with America, with Disabilities Act, with the Act, and making sure that businesses are held accountable and to that standard, because many of us don't think about a world that has, but that has come a long way, and we're grateful for that. And your clients are grateful for that.
Absolutely. It has come a long way.
All right. Thank you so much, Tammy.
Oh, my pleasure, Sheri.
At LaughQ, we love it when you do you.
Do it like you do.
And while you do, we'll keep score
That's right.
and help you grow
Do it like you do.
and get you where you want to go.
Do it like you do.
And just like that, you get cash back. If you want a credit union that can do it all
Like you do.
while you do you, then make the move to LaughQ, your credit union for life.
Coming up in our next segment, we'll focus on NAMI of Lansing, and I talk with Emily White, who has actually experienced the benefits of NAMI herself, and now is using all of that resource and information in her peer-to-peer counseling to help others. Let's listen in. And I'd like to welcome Emily White to Hope in Action. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You are incredible. Look at you.
Oh,
Getting your Juris Doctorate from Michigan State University and now studying for the bar exam.
for certain.
That
It's a
has
long
been-
journey, but hopefully we'll see it cusp at the end of this,
And that's really why you're here today. I did want to celebrate that huge achievement that you recently had, but also want to thank you for the volunteerism that you have for NAMI. And volunteering is really a big part of your life, isn't it?
It is. I remember when I had like one of my breaks, like my first break in like graduate school, and I reached out to Ellen Sachs, who's like this really prominent mental health advocate for people with psychosis, and she was kind enough to let me have a conversation with her over the phone. And I remember she said that, like, you know, advocacy could be like another dimension to being, you know, sick or to, you know, having a disorder. And I really do find it to be a really fulfilling part of my, I guess, human experience being a little different and stuff. I think it really helps people to, you know, find joy in inspiring others and finding a lot of like solidarity with other people, as opposed to, I think, like, it's easy when you have something like psychosis to be like in the closet or sort of like shameful about it. And I think this brings like solidarity instead of secrecy. Advocacy does.
Right, and that's what we're talking about this month, right?
Yeah.
Disability awareness, and you believe in peer to peer, like talking to someone
Yeah,
else that has
absolutely.
been through what you have been through, and for them to see you come through all of this and where you are, and still in it, right? So tell me a little bit about that.
Right. So I would say, like, definitely there's like some peer-to-peer people that like I've really looked up to, like, in my personal journey. And so I think that it's likely that other people also look up to peers in their individual journeys. Like, I think about Jeremy Hall is like a well-known, you know, NAMI Lansing, you know, NAMI award winner from the state of Michigan, you know, peer advocate. And, you know, thinking about like how, you know, intense his journey has been and all the different like levels you can relate to people on, like being a veteran and stuff like that. You know, it just so many different ways you can connect with a person and inspire them to move forward with their life instead of stay sort of stuck in the past. And I think about like a peer advocate I had like in college, like Dennis, and he just really helped me, you know, envision, like, you know, what's it like to be 40 and sick, you know, because when it's like, when you're young, you don't look past 25, you're like, I can't imagine doing this for another 25 years, you know, and that really putting like a new lens on things that, you know, you can continue, you can get married, you can, you know, he has kids, I don't know if I'll have kids, I have a dog, but, you know, that you can sort of, you know, have a career, you can do whatever you want, and, you know, that is all possible still, while still being sick, while still experiencing relapse, while still experiencing all the hardship of having a disorder.
But that gave you hope, right? Talking to someone that really helped bring that kind of, like you said, change the lens, open
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
eyes to what it can be like. It gave you hope.
I would say that it definitely did. It just definitely made it possible to envision a future. I think you know, when people have hope, we think about like envisioning a future that's a little bit better than our present. And so, you know, at least that gave me the prospects of envisioning like a future where I'm older, I'm accomplished, you know, I have a family, I have all the things I want, even though I don't have the wellness that maybe I thought was once mine, you know, back in the day. And so it's like life can adapt and move and change and still be beautiful, even if it's different than what we envisioned.
That's awesome. And what would you say to someone that maybe is struggling, like right now, and is afraid, like you said, I know, to kind of keep it quiet, but needs to advocate for themselves and maybe to step out a little bit?
I would definitely say that, like, it's always important, like, especially if it's like a psychosis situation, to have like trusted people that you can depend on to like navigate the path forward, whether that includes hospitalization or what that includes. I think about like my husband Adam, who's my everything, you know, and my little chihuahua, and, you know, Adam definitely, you know, keeps me accountable and keeps me in line, like when I need to seek treatment, when I, you know, what applauds me, when is my biggest cheerleader when I'm doing well, but also, you know, holds me accountable for when I'm not doing well. And so I think sometimes with disorders that tend to have a lack of insight, you really need to rely on those like trusted mom, dad, you know, mother-in-law, whoever it is that, you know, can really help you, you know, tether back to reality. I think that that's really important, because there's a times where, like, you know, I would say like I'm a practiced person and I still lose like insight at times of crisis, and so it's always just important to lean on people when you can.
What would you say to the general community about when you meet someone, you not necessarily know where they are, what they've been through? We talk a lot about patience and kindness just to everyone.
I would say that, everyone needs a little bit of grace. I think that, anyone, even if you're the best person ever and you have the easiest life and you've had a great day, you still need grace. Everyone needs grace. And so I think that just being as open to new experiences and understanding, I think it's something like I think about like my parents, let's say, like if they hadn't had me, like, and our experiences, they probably wouldn't be very open to like knowing someone with a severe mental illness or something like that. But, through like being exposed to someone and learning that there's more to someone than just being sick, there's also a lot of beauty and depth and insight and everything else that comes along with being, an intricate person. And I would just say that, being graceful and having an openness to experience and being kind, always just being kind. I think kindness goes a long way. And, especially when you don't know in what phase someone is in, kindness makes the world go around.
It does. Well, good luck on the bar exam.
Oh, thank you. I'll take all the luck I can get.
Keep shining your light.
I'll try my best.
Thank you for being
Thank you.
here.
At LaughQ, we love it when you do you.
Do it like you do.
And while you do, we'll keep score
That's right.
and help you grow
Do it like you do.
and get you where you want to go.
Do it like you do.
And just like that, you get cash back. If you want a credit union that can do it all
Like you do.
while you do you, then make the move to LaughQ, your credit union for life.
Coming up in our LaughQ segment, we're going to check in with our friends Justin and Tamara, who are speaking with representatives from Peckham about employment opportunities and other ways that they are celebrating Disability Pride Awareness Month.
Thank you, Sheri. We are here with Laura and Christina from Peckham. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So, Laura, what does Disability Pride Month mean to you, and why is it important to recognize it in the workplace?
Okay. So the opportunity to be able to share my story and let people know who I am and what I've done is really prideful for me, and I enjoy sharing that with others. Having a disability doesn't mean you can't work, and in fact, Peckham actually encourages you to work.
Yeah.
So, and the second part, as far as it being important to recognize that, Disability Pride Month brings out that Peckham has the same standards for everyone and that everyone is treated fairly. So,
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Christina, how does embracing disability inclusion strengthen workplace culture, innovation, and employee engagement?
People with disabilities represent a pretty expansive demographic. So there's a wide variety of different experiences of disability. It is the only demographic that any of us can enter at any point in our lives. And most of us, if we live long enough, will experience some sort of disability. We see it as a natural opportunity for innovation in that people who have sensory differences or communicate in different ways naturally have to innovate to figure out how to do stuff. And as Laura said, at Peckham, we do vocational rehabilitation. So we believe that everybody has the ability to work with appropriate accommodations. And we strive to create an environment that is conducive to maximum potential, that everybody has the opportunity to pursue and achieve the very best of their abilities.
Thank you. That's amazing. That's awesome. Great. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And Christina, we know that organizations such as LaughQ and Peckham are committed to a diverse and inclusive workspace. So in your opinion, how can employers ensure that those individuals with disabilities have equal opportunities for personal growth and leadership development?
Oh, that's a big question.
Yeah.
So Peckham starts with universal design.
Mm-hmm.
We believe in designing spaces that are comfortable and safe for anybody to navigate independently. These are architectural, so it's removal of barriers and making sure that doors have a minimum Like you don't have to be able to grasp the handle and turn it, but you can open it maybe if you don't have a hand, or they open when you approach the door to be accessible. Also, everything's on one level. So whether you use a walker or a wheelchair, you're able to roll in, navigate independently. Those are really, really important to the experience of independence for us. What was the second part of the question?
How would those opportunities, those equal opportunities for professional growth and leadership help as you navigate in those spaces?
Yeah, so Peckham provides opportunities for everybody to achieve their maximum potential. So we are here from the Peckham self-advocacy team. My role within the organization is to work with people who have barriers to employment, to learn self-advocacy skills. So actually working with people with disabilities to learn how to state their needs in a way that gets them met, how to use the supports available to them. For other organizations, how to build this sort of a culture. I think it's really important to be aware of the policies and the laws that we have available to us as American citizens. We talk a lot about the history of the disability rights movement, the Rehabilitation Act, and especially Section 504, and how important it is to make all government places, websites available to be aware of JAWS accommodation with speech, which is something that enables people with vision loss to use a computer. Making ASL classes available and building work environments that incorporate consideration for people who experience hearing loss so that they can work right beside people and communicate with people in the workplace. And of course, the Americans with Disabilities Act. We love to celebrate the ADA, and I encourage people to read it. It's 111 pages, and it really does lay out kind of a utopian vision for making a place for people with disabilities in the world. And I think if everybody's aware of it, then we try to encourage folks to live those values, to be a demonstration of a place where it is possible to build a place where people with disabilities can work and thrive. And it's not so hard that it's unattainable. Anybody can do it.
I love that. I love that.
If I may add just a little bit to that, my personal experience with the Peckham self-advocacy team, which I'm currently the president of, and very proud of that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. With PSAT, we're able to learn how to actually lead the meetings and write the stories, have a secretary and have them take notes for the meeting, and work with elected officials and find out, okay, what bills and things are they working towards that may be helpful for us to put our word in. And of course, advocating for ourselves and others. And I just wanted to add that in.
No, thank you. Thank you for
You're
that,
welcome.
Laura. And Laura, this question is for you.
Okay.
So as we celebrate Disability Pride Month, what message of encouragement or inspiration would you like to share with others?
Okay. I would say, to be yourself, and to open up a little and let others know you so that they know who you are and what your story is. So being comfortable in telling your story and knowing that people are there wanting to know. Another part is that people with disabilities can work at most jobs if they're just given the chance. And Peckham is very open to that and even creates jobs for people that may not have an actual place in the company. So I really like that. And I have to say they can work for maybe 10, 20 years, like myself. I've been 20 plus years. I started in Charlotte sewing the military clothing, and I was given the opportunity to go to Lansing to be in the call center as a customer service representative in 2009, and that's where I've been since, and loving my job.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time, both of you, and just sharing the awareness of Disability Pride Month and how we all live in this wonderful city full of so much diversity. And we want to make sure that we have that belonging atmosphere. And I know that I recently took a tour in Peckham, and it was a wonderful and beautiful facility. And I encourage others, individuals, to come and explore and look at the intricate details. And Christina, you spoke to that earlier about all the things that were thought through in developing that building. It's wonderful. And so thank you both for sharing your stories and just your experiences as well. And just, again, educating everyone on the importance of Disability Pride Month. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much for asking us. Glad to be here.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let's take a look at our community calendar. It includes a literacy camp and some new podcasts that you don't want to miss that have launched in the Uno Deuce studio. If you would like to share an upcoming event, all you have to do is email us at hopeinactionsj@gmail.com. Well, thank you again for watching the second episode of Hope in Action. And don't forget to also check out the extended interview with Tammy, Hanna on our companion podcast, which in fact is live right now. And also to connect with us between episodes, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, you can always subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts so you won't miss anything there. Now, you know what? We're also looking for more sponsors, and we've actually updated our sponsorship levels. You can find them at unodeuce.com/hopeinaction. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time.